Let's start to add some projects. Clicking on the Projects button in the navigation brings us to the main project screen. It's still empty, and it asks us to create a new pillar. So what exactly is a pillar? In the daily project, a pillar is basically a container or a group for your projects. Think of it like pillars in the real world. They are tall and consist of stones stacked on top of each other. Here, our pillars are stacks of projects, which can also be referred to as stones. To make it a bit clearer, let's start by adding some pillars and projects. First, we click the Add New Pillar area in the center of the screen to create our very first pillar. We now have the option to add more pillars either to the left or right side, so let's do that. In case you want to change the order, just drag them in the title area and move them around. You can rename a pillar by right-clicking the title. Now that we have pillars, let's fill them with some projects. Click the center of the pillar to bring up the New Project dialog. You can assign it to any pillar you want and set your start and end date. Not all projects need deadlines, but we'll get into that later. You can also make the projects minimized if they're not important yet, and we'll see how that looks in just a bit. Project heights are usually relative to their length in time, but in case you want to change it, you can do that here. To add more projects, use the top left plus sign, and we'll add a few more to fill the pillar. If we add a project that has a future start date, it will be shown differently in the pillar and indicate the scheduled start. Projects are automatically arranged by date. Feel free to move them around to change the order. Let's say corporate identity is not our priority right now, so we can minimize it either by setting the minimized checkmark in the project dialog or simply by clicking the icon in the top left corner. Not all projects have deadlines. If you want to set up an Infinity project, simply right-click on the project to bring up the dialog and deselect the deadline option. As we are adding pillars, you can now see that the 3 buttons below the Projects button in the navigation have been filled. Those are quick access buttons to each pillar. We can customize which pillar we want by right-clicking each button and selecting our favorite. To rename a project, simply bring up the dialog with the right click and enter a new name. Our project screen is still a bit empty, so let's jump ahead and look at a more complete setup so you can get an idea of what to expect. Now we have 5 pillars with fully active projects. Let's go through the information here. First, let's revisit the concept of pillars. As you can see, we have 5 pillars which group up the projects in context, so it's easier for you to manage specific areas at once. You can see how many projects, or stones, are building a pillar. Then we have colours. Looking at the pillar on the left, you can see green, red and yellow. Green means you're on track to meet your deadline. Yellow means it's getting problematic. And red means that you will miss the deadline unless you prioritise and increase the speed of completion here. This is a great way to help you make decisions on where to focus. The projects have a progress bar, which you can see by the darker colour, and the percentage sign on the bottom. The last 2 projects on the left pillar are already completed and therefore pushed to the bottom with a check mark. We talked earlier about projects without a deadline, and here's an example. It will appear in slightly darker green and will not change colours. If you have a red project with an exclamation mark in there, it's a problem. That means this project has already missed its deadline and is overdue. This should be the absolute priority now. Inside the project status bar, You can see either a T or an S in red or blue. They stand for tasks and sub-projects, which are due today in blue or overdue in red.